Good morning and welcome to the program, FYI. And of course, we visit with the Clinton Mayor, Scott Maddasion. We got a lot to talk about. Scott, thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah, no problem. I always enjoy coming here to KROS.
Now, you were on a bike ride last night.
Yeah, so we had the first annual Mayor's Bike Ride, which was really cool. Chad Jensen at the bicycle shop had reached out to me and asked me if I'd be interested in doing this, and he kind of planned the whole thing. And we had close to 30 people there on the bikes last night. A couple council members came, so I'm gonna have to scold the rest of them because I asked them all to come, you know. Okay. But so it was a good time. They had the farmers market from 4 to 6. They had Brooke Byam on the stage at Foursquare Park from 5 to 7, and at 7 o'clock we kind of took off, and it was about a 6.5 mile ride by Chad's his calculations on his little his mile meter there. So we rode down Roosevelt. We popped up on the riverfront down there. We went down 5th Avenue South. The Cisneros that own Mojitas down there on the corner of 5th and 2nd were gracious enough to have water and Gatorade and stuff there for everybody. They reached out to me. They said they'd love to be a stop, so we all stopped there. We hydrated a little bit, and then we took back off and we rode through the Pocket Park on 4th that Gabby Torres has her art and things in. So we rode through there, hit a couple of the murals, and then we bounced back on the levee and went back up to the north end and ended at Foursquare Park. So about an hour-long ride, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, we had all ages there. We had some middle school kids. We had some older folks. We had some people in the middle, and it was a nice little group.
So, is this something that's going to be a part of the fall?
I think yes, for sure. Some people we're like, we should do one a month. They're like, next year starting in May, maybe do one a month. And they had mentioned that there's a bike riding club in town that does like a moonlight ride. So maybe I sponsor one of their moonlight rides once a month. And so I think the sky's the limit on this. And it's a really, it's kind of a cool little community event, and it's a positive thing. And hopefully we can continue to garner some support and get more and more people there. I think there had to been at least 150, 200 people there watching Brooke Byam and the Daymakers last night. So hopefully we can get more of those people to bring their bicycles, next time we do it, and we'll all hop on and go. And it was a lot of fun. So I'm really happy Chad asked me to be involved, because I think it was a good thing.
Great to have a young, active mayor, no doubt about that.
Yeah, I think part of my job, it's not only working at the council meetings and working with council on legislation and economic development. I think being out in the community is an important piece of my job, because I'm a citizen of Clinton just like everybody else. I'm just the one that's elected to kind of represent. So it's nice to talk to different people. I met a couple of folks last night that I've never met before, which was nice. So we had a couple good conversations, and I enjoy that part of the job and getting different perspectives from people.
And you're going to be busy again on Sunday. You're going to be a part of the half marathon.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like you. I'm a runner. I try to be, at least, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do the 10K this year. And Shannon, the director of the Y, I did the welcome last year, and she asked me to do that again this year. So about 7:20 or 7:25 in the morning, I'll do a little welcome as I'm stretching and getting ready to roll, and then we'll take off. And I think this is probably my, I don't know, like maybe 6th year or so doing. I might have missed a year in there, for an injury, but doing this race. So even before I was mayor, I was doing this race, and it's a tough course. If you've run other places, even a 5K or a 10K, it's tough. So a lot of hills and different things, and I think it's always well supported by the community. A lot of local businesses support it. There's a lot of people there. So, and I think last year was the first year they closed off 5th Avenue South, and they had the big trailer there, and everybody's kind of was in the open area. And I thought that was a really cool touch too, because you start downtown and you end downtown, and it's kind of a nice feel.
I've had the privilege of being able to announce the finish of this race for the 11 years that they've had it. This is the 11th year, and it is so unique to Clinton to have this kind of an event. And the half marathon, it takes you up to the north end. You get to go through Eagle Point and then come back home. And a lot going on downtown.
Yeah, I did the half one time, and it's one of the tougher halves that I've ran. I've done like 8 or 9 of them, and it's tough.
And it kind of leads up. The Quad City Marathon is going to be in 2 weeks, so I
Right.
know a lot of the runners kind of use this as a little bit of a training.
Yeah, I think, when you're training for a marathon, about a half is about as much as you want to run 2 weeks out, keep those legs fresh so you can get the whole 26.2. So, yeah, and I think, they do a wonderful job putting the event on here, and I think that draws people as well because they want to be a part of an event that's well put together, that's in a nice place, and a lot of people like the challenging course. I think even they get a lot of walkers and things too, which is exciting. So hopefully it'll be jam-packed down on 5th Avenue South on Sunday morning, and I'll see everybody there, and hopefully they can sign up here. Got a couple more days to sign up. Get your T-shirt and put your running shoes on.
So not only is the mayor going to be running, but you've got the head of Grow Clinton, Andy Sokolovich, is going to be doing the DJing for the event.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, and he's going to be playing music.
I think he did it last year too,
yes,
didn't he?
Yes, he did. He'll be playing music at the other end there.
Cool. He needs to run with us is what he needs to do. So if he's listening, I'm calling him out.
Andy, I think, is more of a walker right now because he does that walk on Memorial. Is it Memorial Day that he does that?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, from Eagle Point down to Comanche or something like that.
Right, yep.
Him and Matt kind of head that up. Bacon and Brew, that was going to be down on our riverfront. So we kind of veer off from exercise to a little more entertainment and eating.
A little more leisure, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think my focus coming in this today was really on the great things that are still coming up. Summer's basically over, school started. That's usually kind of the end of things, but we still have a lot of things going on. And Bacon and Brew is a huge thing that we have here. And the director of Parks and Rec, Josh Eggers, has done a wonderful job learning from the past and kind of creating a new event and adding to it and trying to do things really, really well. So a lot of breweries coming in to include Great Revivalists. That's remodeling the old Bethel AME Church downtown right now. So they'll be there, which is exciting. I still have not got to try any of their stuff. Mm-hmm. I was really close to Geneseo the other day, and we almost went down, and we just didn't have time. So, so I'm excited for that. And then also they have, I hope I don't get the name wrong. I think it's the Mamiltons is going to play. That
sounds right.
That's the band that's going to play.
Right.
It's the unique name, so I mess it up sometimes. But yeah, so it's going to be a really good event. It'll be down on Riverfront. I think it's $20, so get your tickets early if you can, because that'll just help out all the vendors to kind of understand what food they need.
What is the date on that?
24th.
Okay, so September 24th.
September 24th, yep.
All right, very good. It is great to have something like that because whenever we get Grow Clinton in or you come in, I always talk about our riverfront because we have just a fabulous riverfront.
We do, yeah. And I know the foresight for this event is to continue to grow it. We would like to continue to grow it and get it bigger. And I don't know if you've ever been down to the barbecue and blues festival down in the Quad Cities, and they have tons of vendors down there, and they have some really big name acts that come in and play and different things like that. So I don't know if Josh is shooting his sights that high, but I am. I think it'd be really neat to have this huge event down there that's really not just Clinton centric but really regional. And hopefully, as we continue to grow and we continue to get better and we learn and we move with this, we can really create something awesome or even better than what we already have.
Visiting with Clinton Mayor Scott Maddasion. We'll have more right after this check of the weather brought to you by Dan Dole.
A little bit of a warmer day expected after some patchy fog this morning. We'll see skies become partly cloudy this afternoon. Highs up to 85 degrees. Back to the upper 50s tonight with mostly clear skies. And more of the same for Friday, mostly sunny. We'll see highs back into the mid-80s. With your Storm Track 8 forecast, I'm meteorologist Andrew Stutzky.
Sunshine, we're at 67 degrees. Our update brought to you by Dan Dolan.
A Dan Dolan home is the perfect place to relax and enjoy your retirement years. Our age-in-place design and reverse mortgage opportunities provide convenience, accessibility, and sustainable retirement living. Our homes are energy efficient with snow and lawn care services provided. See for yourself what Dan Dolan Homes has to offer at our Meet the Builder open house on Wednesdays from 11 to 1. For quality, reliability, and value, Dan Dolan Homes is the place to go.
FYI, continuing now with Clinton Mayor Scott Maddasion. Now, I know you got a new council member, somebody I've known his entire life.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Man, he's already blowing my phone up. He's bothering me. No, I'm kidding. We're extremely excited to have Pat Detterman on as a council person. I think some people call him the mayor of Lyons, but he's just going to have to go by council person now. I will say this. We had 7 really, really good applicants. If you looked at their applications, we had 6 that actually interviewed, 1 dropped out. 6 really, really wonderful interviews. I think everybody that he interviewed had their own strengths that they could have brought to the table. They were very diverse in their backgrounds and what they were involved in, and then you could kind of tell what their focus areas were, what their passions were, so to speak. And I think they were all different. They all had different aspects that would be very important to the council and to the city. So the council's allowed to go into closed session per our attorney. So we went into closed session and discussed individually each applicant, and we don't want to do that in open session just in case we don't want to defame anybody or offend anybody. So we did that. Long discussion. I think it was about 35 minutes or 40 minutes that they all had to sit downstairs and wait as the council was deliberating on this. And I will tell you this: there's no decisions that are made in closed session. And as we exited closed session, and I asked for a motion, it was like silence, because I think people really were on the fence with a lot of them. They just weren't really sure where they wanted to go, and which is a good thing that we had that many good applicants. And then we had a motion for Pat, and there was a second, and that motion passed. Would have been, there's only 6, so 5-1. That motion passed. So Pat was selected, and then the next night we did the meeting, and Pat sat at the table for the meeting, but he didn't vote on the actual business meeting or anything like that. We did a swear-in for him at the end of the meeting, so he was officially sworn in. And the resolution was 6-0 to appoint him that night. And he had participated in the committee of the whole meeting, and his first official meeting will be next Tuesday, where he'll be his name will be on an official plaque. It was like it was on a piece of cardboard for the first time. The turnaround was very quick. We couldn't get one done by that Tuesday night. So so it's going to be exciting, and I think he brings a lot of passion for Clinton. I mean, in many different aspects, and I think that's extremely important, because if you're up there, you want to do what's best for the citizens and what's best for Clinton, and we're excited to have him on board, and I think he'll do a lot of good things. So
now I need to ask you, now, when somebody comes onto the council for the first time, is there some kind of orientation or anything like that they need to go through, or how do they get maybe caught up to speed on what's taken place and what is coming up?
So a lot of it's trial by fire. Once you jump in, because things are already in motion, things are already going, so you just got to kind of learn on the fly. There are trainings that are available through the Iowa League of Cities, which the city of Clinton is a member of. And I remember when I first came on board, I went out to those trainings. They do them a couple times a year. Our city staff is really, really good. So the city clerk and city administrator do a wonderful job of getting them up to speed on things. So Matt would be the one that would really be able to say, hey, this is what's going on, this is where we're at, here's the facts, and then allow a new person that comes on board to kind of get going in there. Also, reaching out to council members and myself, I think that's the best resource to kind of understand what's going on. And I fully expect the first few months, as we're going through meetings, hey, what does this mean? What does that mean? And that's perfectly fine, because there's still, almost 3 years later, there's still questions that I have. I'll go through a council packet on the weekend, and then, Monday morning, I'm bombarding Matt with questions, and some of them are simple, some of them are more complex. So it's really one of those things, and we'll do some council training as well. The October 5th, we have scheduled training with Allers and Cooney, which is a law firm we work with out of Des Moines, and they're going to really touch on tax increment financing. They'll touch on just simple like financing basics, like bonding for money, paying cash for things, all that different type of finance stuff, because the hardest part of being a council person, I believe, is the budget. A lot of numbers, a lot of moving parts, a lot of departments, a lot of things that are involved there, and those talks will start in December and then January. So getting a councilperson up to speed on budget stuff and finance is really important as we go into that season.
I can imagine that when somebody first comes on the council, they probably don't realize what all is involved.
Absolutely. Yes. You can see from the outside and you think you know what's involved, and then when you actually get into it, you do, because I don't think some people probably think it's two meetings a month and that's it. Well, there's at least 3 or 4 committees that each council person is a liaison to, you know. So we have all the citizen-led committees like neighborhood improvement, planning, zoning, all that different stuff, and not every committee, but a lot of them have a council person that's the liaison to kind of be that, not a buffer, but like a spokesperson for that committee to the council. Because if something goes to the neighborhood improvement or the ADA, they don't make a final decision. They make a recommendation to the council, and then the council makes the decision. So having that liaison is important. So they'll be involved in different stuff like that, and then the different budget meetings and different things like that. So I know,
and plus hearing from your constituents.
Yeah. I think Pat will have an interesting take now because he has a lot of people that comes through his business. So
Right.
He's going to hear a lot more things, I'm sure, than he normally does. And he did tell us that the only day he's not available is Wednesdays. He's got to be on the grill for burgers.
That's right.
So we're like, well, Wednesdays are usually light, so we can accommodate.
Again, busy with Scott Maddasion now. University of Iowa, we got something coming up with them.
Yeah, so tomorrow, Friday, down at Candlelight, it starts at 4 o'clock for like social hour. Actually, maybe 4:30. 4 or 4:30 for social hour, and then I know 5:30 we're going to get started with the program. So we've signed on with the University of Iowa, and their department is the IISC, and I apologize, I can't remember what the acronym stands for, but we're basically going to be working with this group out of the University of Iowa to work on different projects around town. And what that means is there's a lot of things. So they have engineering grad students, they have artists, they have lawyers, they have a lot of different people that are in grad school out at the University of Iowa, and they have folks that are part of this group, and they basically work on projects throughout the community, help solve problems, and different things like that. So we have selected up to 15 different target areas, and I don't know if we'll get all 15 done over the next year because it's a 1-year commitment from those students because they start school now and then when they're done in May. So we're going to be learning a lot more about what they can bring to the table and what we can do with them tomorrow at the program when they come here. It's just kind of a kickoff thing. I know they're very adamant about any University of Iowa alumni that are in the area. They'd love to have them come out and be a part of the event too, because obviously that's a pride thing for them, which is cool, and we're excited to have them here. And I think the biggest thing with it is getting a different perspective. These are the future lawyers, the future engineers, the future whatever of our generations coming, right? And to get their perspective on city and what we can do to increase population or increase growth and different things like that, I think that's important. And I'm really excited to have that perspective coming to the table here in Clinton.
How interesting. Now, how did this come about? I mean, do they reach out to us or do you reach out to the university?
So we reach out to them. They've done a few projects here and there throughout the community. One that comes to mind right away is they did a conceptual design of what the old YMCA building could be, as far as maybe a luxurious apartments or retail or restaurant, you know what I mean? They've done a couple different conceptual drawing. I think there was 4 different options they kind of came up with on how to design the building and how to make it useful. So that's one project that they kind of have done, and they've done similar things like that throughout the years. We've always had a lot of success with them, and they've been, I don't remember when we first did the first project, but it's been a while ago. So those are the types of things that we can get out of these groups and get out of these the students out there. So we're excited to have them on board, and like I said, it's a 1-year commitment, so we'll be working with them for until next May.
Again, visiting with Scott Maddasion. Now you've got some things that are coming up. You've got dates for Mardi Gras and Trick or Treat.
So the parade is the 31st, which is Halloween. It's on a Monday, so they're going to do the parade that night there. And out of much thought out of it, we're going to do Trick or Treat on Saturday, the 29th, from 6 to 8. And I think my whole focus is this is really about the kids, and I think I'd like to keep it on a Saturday night or a non-school night if we can. Talk to a lot of teachers, talk to a lot of parents, and sometimes it gets hectic for them to be able to have their kids out there and then get them ready for school the next morning because they're up eating candy all night. So hopefully this will be allow more people to be involved for a longer time. So maybe instead of having to stop at 7 to get them home and get them ready for bed, maybe they can do the full thing and have a good time. So that's kind of why I chose the Saturday date, and I think hopefully people respect that and they're okay with that, because it is about the kids, and I want the kids to have the most fun that they possibly can and be able to go out there and trick or treat in a safe environment throughout the community.
Appreciate you coming in. As we let you go, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to working on here in the next couple of months?
So next couple of months, I'm really looking forward to the capital improvements planning. That's really the next big thing that comes up, and that's important because we're going to be looking at the next fiscal year, what projects we want to fund, what we want to actually do, and then also part of that program is working on a 5 and 10 year plan for the city and how we're going to do a lot of different projects, because some can't necessarily be done today, but we want to look forward in the future, whether it's a maintenance thing or it's a quality of life thing. So that to me is really exciting, because that's the part where you're like kind of building the community in a way, where you're doing those pavement management things, you're fixing roads, you're fixing infrastructure, but then you're also looking at what quality of life things can we bring to the community. You mentioned Riverfront, like the fitness court down there by the marina. I see people down there in the morning in the summertime all the time working out, maybe 5-10 at a time. And so little things like that, like how can we bring things like that to the community and make us better and move us forward. And we talked about the trail along 13th last time, so obviously that would be a piece that we need to fund going forward since we got that grant. So capital improvements is probably the most fun. Because it's being creative, it's getting to do those cool things, and we hope any citizens that would like to be involved or have ideas or have projects that they think would be good for the community, please come to those meetings. They'll be posted. They're a public meeting just like anything else, and we'd be excited to hear all of your inputs as well.
A lot of construction, a lot of different things going on. Encourage people to be patient. I know the South Bridge is closed right now.
Yep.
North End is getting all kinds of traffic.
Yeah, and a couple people talk to me about that, and the biggest thing I say is this: if you don't need to be at that intersection at 19th and 2nd Street, please don't be there. Help alleviate some of the congestion. Now, there's a lot of traffic that's got to flow across the bridge, and we understand that, and there's going to be delays, and there's not a whole lot we can do as far as traffic control. What we have is what's available. So we're going to work on making sure it's as safe as we possibly can. We're going to work on whatever control mechanisms that we need, because you don't know until you know, right? And now we've had a couple days of this. Hopefully we can make things smoother and easier, but really be patient, and then also, if you can take a different route to get home, I would probably do that.
Scott, thanks so much for coming in,
No
and
problem.
We'll see you Sunday at the race.
We'll see you then.